We've all been there. That nagging voice in the back of your head constantly questioning, what will they think of me? Whether it's at work, in social situations with friends, or on social media, the weight of other people's opinions can feel overwhelming. It can paralyze us, limit our actions, and even cause unnecessary anxiety. But here's the truth. Caring too much about what others think is a mental prison that stops you from living authentically. It's exhausting, draining, and prevents you from being truly free. If you've ever felt like you're stuck in this mental loop of overthinking and self-doubt, you're not alone. The Stoic philosophers have something valuable to teach us about this. They knew all too well the danger of being overly concerned with the opinions of others and the profound freedom that comes from releasing that burden. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches how to live in harmony with nature, is based on the idea that we should focus on what we can control and let go of everything else, especially other people's opinions. According to Stoicism, the only approval you should seek is your own, rooted in your values, actions, and principles, not in the fleeting judgments of others. In this post, we will explore 5 powerful Stoic strategies that can help you break free from caring about what others think, so you can live a life that's true to yourself. The first thing you need to understand is that people are far more concerned with their own lives than they are with yours. This realization can be incredibly freeing. You might believe that everyone is watching your every move, judging your every decision. The truth, however, is that most people are so wrapped up in their own world that they don't have the mental energy or time to focus on you as much as you think. In fact, they are likely caught up in their own insecurities, struggles, and fears just like you. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, in his work Meditations, wrote, "We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." It's ironic, isn't it? We spend so much time worrying about what others think of us, yet those same people are likely doing the exact same thing worrying about themselves. When you realize this, it becomes much easier to stop overthinking how you're being perceived. People are rarely as focused on you as you think. They may briefly think about you or form an opinion, but those thoughts are usually fleeting, colored by their own insecurities or emotions. So when you find yourself spiraling into worry about how others perceive you, pause and remind yourself that they're not thinking about you nearly as much as you believe, and if they are, that's not your problem to solve. Seeking approval is a natural human tendency. After all, we're social creatures, and validation from others can provide us with a sense of belonging and reassurance. However, it becomes problematic when we base our self-worth on what others think of us. This is where the Stoics offer a profound lesson. The Stoic philosophers believed that true happiness comes from within, not from external validation. Epictetus, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, taught that we should focus only on what is within our control, and other people's opinions are definitely not something you can control. Think about it. You could do everything right, follow all the rules, work hard, be kind, and still have people judge or disapprove of you. No matter how hard you try, you can't make everyone like you. So why waste your energy on something so futile? Detaching from the need for approval is one of the most liberating practices you can adopt. It means shifting your focus from external validation to internal values. When you stop chasing the approval of others, you gain something far more valuable, your own approval. And that's the only approval you truly need. I'll be honest, when I finally embraced this mindset, it felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. I realized that my worth didn't come from others' validation, but from living in alignment with my own principles. And here's the funny part. When you stop seeking approval, you often start receiving more of it naturally. But by that point, you'll realize it doesn't even matter anymore. You've already found peace within yourself. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the importance of focusing on what is within your control and letting go of what is not. This distinction is absolutely critical when it comes to dealing with other people's opinions. The Stoics emphasize that while we can control our own actions, thoughts, and responses, we have zero control over what others think, say, or feel about us. Think about it. You could spend countless hours stressing over how you are perceived, but at the end of the day, what someone else thinks of you is beyond your influence. Maybe they had a bad day. Maybe they're projecting their insecurities onto you. Maybe they're simply unaware of your struggles. Whatever the reason, you can't change it, and worrying about it only drains your mental and emotional energy. Instead, the Stoics suggest that we should direct our focus toward what is within our control, our actions, our integrity, and how we show up in the world. As Epictetus famously said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This mindset shift is crucial. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you free yourself from the burden of others' opinions. Let's say you're about to give a presentation at work, and you're consumed with thoughts about how your colleagues will judge your performance. This anxiety can lower your confidence and affect your delivery. But what if you shifted your focus? Instead of worrying about what others will think, focus on preparing well and giving the best presentation you can. That's something within your control. The opinions of others? Leave those behind. When you focus on what you can control, you gain a sense of empowerment. You're no longer a slave to the opinions of others. You can move through life with more peace and confidence, knowing that you're doing your best, regardless of what anyone else might think. One of the most liberating Stoic insights is understanding the impermanence of all things, including other people's opinions. What someone thinks of you today can easily change tomorrow. Opinions are like the wind, they shift direction frequently and are often influenced by fleeting emotions, circumstances, or external factors that have nothing to do with you. When you grasp this truth, you realize that placing too much weight on someone's opinion is not only unnecessary, but also foolish. What good is it to let your self-worth hinge on something so unstable and temporary? The Stoics would remind us that our peace of mind cannot be anchored in the ever-changing views of others. Understanding this impermanence helps you detach from the need for constant validation. When someone judges you, remember that their opinion might be entirely different in the future, and even if it's not something you need to carry with you. By realizing that others' views are transient, you free yourself from the constant pressure of trying to live up to them. The final Stoic strategy is to engage in continuous self-reflection and growth. This isn't about pleasing others or meeting external expectations. It's about aligning your actions with your own values. The Stoics believed that virtue and wisdom come from a deep understanding of oneself and the world. By regularly reflecting on your actions, your motivations, and your responses to external events, you cultivate a stronger sense of who you truly are independent of others' opinions. This practice not only improves your character, but also builds your resilience against the fear of judgment. When you are rooted in your values and focus on being the best version of yourself, the judgments of others become irrelevant. In a world where it's easy to get caught up in what others think of us, the teachings of Stoicism offer a powerful path to liberation. By applying these 5 strategies, realizing that people think about themselves more than you, detaching from the need for approval, focusing on what you can control, recognizing the impermanence of opinions, and practicing self-reflection, you can free yourself from the mental trap of worrying about others' judgments. Remember, true peace comes from within. When you stop seeking validation from others, you start living authentically. You no longer need the approval of the world because you are already enough, just as you are. Life is unpredictable. One day, you're praised for your efforts and achievements. The next, you're criticized for the same things. This cycle of highs and lows can be emotionally exhausting and mentally draining. But the Stoics, the ancient philosophers known for their wisdom and practical approach to life, offer a powerful perspective on this dilemma. They taught that the only thing that truly matters is living in accordance with our own principles. Everything else, praise, criticism, judgment, is fleeting and irrelevant in the grand scheme of life. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, in his famous Meditations, reminded himself repeatedly that other people's judgments do not define who he was. He wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people. but care more about their opinion than our own. At first glance, this statement may seem puzzling. We love ourselves, yet we give more weight to what others think of us than to our own beliefs and values. Think about it. The opinions we have about others change over time. People we once admired may disappoint us, or those we once disliked may end up surprising us. Our judgments evolve with experience and new insights. The same applies to how others view us. Perhaps once you were judged unfairly, but as time passed, those judgments lost their significance. Understanding the impermanence of external opinions can be a game changer. It allows you to detach from the need for constant approval. People's opinions are often transient and inconsistent, and this truth is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. Instead of letting the winds of public opinion toss you around, the Stoics suggest that you root yourself firmly in your own values and principles. The Stoics believe that the only thing you can truly control is how you live, how you respond to situations, and how you align your actions with your principles. They believe that praise or criticism from others has no bearing on your worth. Instead, focus on being virtuous, kind, and true to yourself. Let the transient opinions of others blow past you without leaving a mark on your sense of self. One of the central practices in Stoicism is self-reflection. The Stoics understood that the only person who truly knows whether you are living in accordance with your values is you. That's why daily self-reflection is such a powerful tool. The Stoics used journaling as a method to stay aligned with their values. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, wrote down his thoughts every day, not to impress anyone, but to remind himself of the lessons and principles that mattered most to him. This practice of journaling is a way of engaging in self-reflection. It allows you to check in with yourself daily, to assess whether your actions are in alignment with your values. Ask yourself, am I living according to my values today? Did I handle this situation in a way that I can be proud of? Instead of seeking validation from others, this practice encourages you to look inward for guidance and affirmation. By engaging in regular self-reflection, you start to build a strong internal compass. Over time, you'll find that you no longer need the approval or judgment of others to feel confident or at peace. You'll trust yourself more because you've taken the time to evaluate your own actions honestly. You've looked inward to see if you acted in accordance with your principles, and you've aligned your decisions with your deeper values. This internal validation is what makes you resilient to criticism. When you know you're living with integrity, other people's opinions lose their power over you. When you focus on internal growth rather than external approval, your sense of self-worth becomes rooted in something far more stable, your own character. Another powerful Stoic strategy for overcoming the need for external validation is by building inner confidence through action. Confidence, in the Stoic view, comes not from seeking praise or approval from others, but from consistently doing what you know is right. It's a product of action, not of admiration. The more you take actions aligned with your principles and values, the less you'll need validation from outside sources. Confidence doesn't magically appear, it's built through repeated acts of courage, discipline, and integrity. Each time you face a challenge and handle it according to your principles, you reinforce your internal belief in yourself. Consider a situation where others are doubting your abilities or criticizing your decisions. It's easy to feel insecure in such moments and to start questioning your own worth. But when you've built confidence through consistent action by doing the work, making tough choices, and learning from your experiences, you know deep down that their opinions don't define you. You've already proven to yourself that you're capable and strong. Epictetus, another influential Stoic philosopher, famously said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This quote embodies the Stoic commitment to action. It suggests that before you act, first decide who you want to be, align your actions with that ideal, and then take the necessary steps to embody that version of yourself. Don't wait for the world to validate your work. Validate yourself by living according to your values. Every action you take to align yourself with your higher self strengthens your inner confidence. Over time, as you consistently act in a way that makes you proud, the need for external approval fades away, replaced by a deep sense of satisfaction and peace. One of the hardest but most liberating truths to accept in life is that you cannot please everyone, and trying to do so is a guaranteed path to misery. The Stoics were experts at recognizing that we have no control over other people's perceptions, opinions, or judgments. They understood that the pursuit of universal approval is not only futile, but also destructive to personal peace. The need to please others often arises from a desire to avoid conflict or discomfort. But in reality, constantly bending over backward to meet everyone else's expectations only leads to self-betrayal. When you prioritize the desires of others above your own, you neglect your own needs, desires, and principles. Over time, this can create resentment, frustration, and a deep sense of dissatisfaction with life. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, echoed this sentiment. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. This quote is a call to pay attention to what really matters, your own principles, not the judgments of others. Once you accept that you cannot please everyone, a tremendous weight is lifted from your shoulders. You stop trying to cater to every opinion or adjust yourself to fit into others' expectations. You gain the freedom to live authentically, based on your own values and principles. This acceptance also allows you to set boundaries, say no when necessary, and make decisions that align with your true self. Instead of fearing rejection or judgment, you come to understand that living authentically is far more important than winning the approval of everyone you meet. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the idea that true freedom comes from within. When you stop caring so much about what others think and focus on living a life in alignment with your values, you unlock a new level of confidence and inner peace. You no longer feel the need to seek validation or approval because you've learned to trust yourself and your decisions. Remember, the opinions of others are fleeting. They are often based on their own biases, insecurities, and perceptions. Don't let them dictate your self-worth or control your actions. Focus instead on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. Practice self-reflection. Build confidence through consistent action. Accept that you can't please everyone. By embracing these Stoic strategies, you'll find that the fear of judgment begins to fade. You'll live with more authenticity, courage, and peace, knowing that your worth is defined by your actions, not by the opinions of others. The next time you catch yourself worrying about what someone thinks, pause, reflect, and remember, you are in control of your life. Live by your own principles and let the rest take care of itself. This is the Stoic path to peace and fulfillment, trusting yourself, living with integrity, and no longer being ruled by the judgments of others. If these Stoic lessons resonated with you, share them with others who may need to hear this message. And as always, continue to practice these philosophies in your daily life. The more you apply them, the stronger, more confident, and more peaceful you'll become.